So listen, for once, the Sajam stands will be accurate. I am directly ripping off Sajam's content that he's already done, is already uploaded to his YouTube channel. I'm doing it. So today, I wanted to talk about this point that Sajam brought up, which was regarding ranked anxiety, competitive anxiety. And he had a really good video where he talked about it a little bit. And you guys should watch this video.
Can you talk about ladder anxiety? Or
yes, I can talk about ladder anxiety. So that's what I'm going to do, because I think it's a very relatable topic and doesn't get talked about a lot. And I think a lot of people are scared to discuss it or bring it up. And I thought I would go through sort of my personal journey and dealing with these kind of emotions, because I have anxiety when I compete in tournaments. Nerves are a big factor, and they affect me in more ways than one. And it's something that I always have to deal with, something I always have to think about, prepare for, plan for. It's just part of competing for me. But it didn't just start there. It didn't start with tournaments. I have always been a player who has cared about ranked. That's not necessarily the case now, but in the past, I cared about ranked. Here's me from 2015, got my Xbox 360, my AverMedia capture card right there, my Diet Coke Classic, taking a photo of me getting 5K player points, 20,000 battle points with Balrog in Street Fighter 4. If you don't know about Street Fighter 4 rank system, the player points were kind of your win-loss ratio. Battle points were more like your experience over time. So I was ranked like number 2 with Balrog Online on Xbox 360, but 5K player points meant you were part of the big boys. You were legit. Your win rate was extremely good. And so to me, that was a big accomplishment. I cared enough about this to take out my cell phone, take a picture of my monitor, and post it onto Twitter to my 2 followers. So that was me in Street Fighter 4, a few months away from Street Fighter 5's release. Happy, positive, on top of the world in ranked. And then here I am, February 23rd, 2016, on the verge of quitting. Ranked is killing my motivation for this game. Think I'm gonna try some casual sets to grind without losing my mind. And here's JC, my old senpai, my sensei in Street Fighter 4 days, trying to give me some more stage advice. Just points, bro, deep breaths. It's not the points, I literally can't beat anyone. I'm even discussing doing a Street Fighter rank plus yoga stream to get my nerves together. I can't even keep super silver, dude. I literally go on like 15 game losing streaks. That's a patented Brian tilt. Yeah, this game is really about not going on tilt. It's like you're in a scramble when you're about to lose constantly. So I was feeling it. It was rough. There's more evidence of this too. The next day after tweeting about losing my mind, on about a 20 game losing streak, I think it's time to throw in the towel on Street Fighter 5. Not sure about going to tournaments anymore. I was considering quitting the game. I was having such a hard time. I was having so much anguish in ranked. I was tilting, losing nonstop. I was about to throw in the towel. A few months ago, I was on top of the world Street Fighter 4 ranked. A couple months later, it all reset. It's like those past 5 years of grinding Street Fighter 4 were for nothing. Not liking it as much as Ultra. I like it. I just suck. And therein lies the crux of the issue. I think a lot of people, when they do ranks, put a lot of stake, a lot of their own personal pride into their performance in ranked. And I mean, that's kind of the intention of ranked, right? Like, it's kind of hard to not do that. So when you boot up ranked, you're putting your pride on the line and you're risking a loss. And that loss is a direct impact on your ego. At this point in time, I was really struggling with that. I was going to ranked, doing terrible because I hadn't learned the game yet, because I'd never had to learn a new game before. I had only learned Street Fighter 4, and I never had to learn how to shift focus and to adapt to a new game and learn how to learn. And that's something that Season 1 and 2 about Street Fighter 5 taught me really well, was learning how to break down a game and learn it. But at this point in time, the only sort of ego validation I had was win or lose in ranked. And this was causing so much anguish. I would dread booting it up. I would lose, but I would have to keep playing until I won to justify the loss, or else it wasn't worth it. And I couldn't get out of it until I won to make up for the loss. And it was all about just satisfying my ego, because too much of my personal validation was based on the performance in the game. Too much of it. All of it. Eventually, you know, it started happening. So this is a month later, on the verge of quitting. A month later, here I am at Platinum rank, which was a big deal at the time, ranked 73rd in the world. I got over a hump. I started breaking down the game, and within a month time, the gears started turning, and I was picking things up. But it doesn't really solve the root of the problem, right? Still too much of my pride was based on the win-loss in ranked. I still felt that feeling. I was hungry for validation, and ranked was a good way to express that. Eventually, you know, I kind of got into the groove of things with the ranked, so much so that I have evidence from my some of my tutorial vids at the time. I was ranked 8th in the world. Every time I booted up ranked, I cared about every single win and every single loss. Every first game, when I would boot up ranked, I would be nervous. I cared. If I lost that game, that was hours of progress in terms of getting those points. It hurt. It hurt a lot. I slowly started to realize at this time, because I started going to tournaments, that rank didn't matter as much for me specifically. And I think the source of this anxiety for me was this number represented my worth. Eventually it got to the point when I was going to tournaments, I would go to one tournament and my rank would drop because so many people were grinding on ranks, getting more points while I was at tournaments, that I would be rank 8, go to a tournament, come back, and I'd be ranked like 13. Those 5 other people were just grinding points that whole time while I was gone. Eventually I started to realize like rank has a purpose, but it does not validate my skill level or who I am, right? It is not the source of my own ego. It is okay to not have a super high rank. You can use rank to learn. I started playing a lot more battle lounges, started grinding matches, like longer sets with other people. Since then, you know, I don't really care about ranked at all. I boot up ranked and I just play some games. I'll try new things. And it allowed me to be a lot more flexible and have this less of an anxiety when booting up ranked, because it's not a source of validation for me anymore. It's just a source of practice and a source of experimentation and getting matchup experience. That helped me combat my anxiety regarding ranked. But I compete in tournaments now. And let me tell you, that tournament anxiety has gone nowhere. I feel that to its full effects every tournament. Some worse than others, but that is present every single time. And it is not just mental. Some people talk about competitive anxiety in a way that makes it sound like it's all just in your head. That is not true. I'm gonna tell you the story of my Final Round 2019 journey. I got some footage here from the VODs of Final Round 2019. This is my second match of pools that day versus Creepy Sleepy. I'll just play it for you.
Oh, okay.
There's the punish, yeah.
Nice.
And the meaty throw. This guy, you can't cheat against Brian F. He's done his time tables. Every time he knocks you down, he knows exactly what the meaty is. He knows exactly how to like whiff this, whiff that, get the perfectly timed setup.
Man, shut up. Wow.
Wow, he stole the donut.
Wow.
Oh!
Oh my, no.
In the trash can, he just threw it?
Throw a flag on the play. Creepy Sleepy, you better do
Creepy
something
you
about
better
this.
put a foot right through that V-neck.
Oh, that's who took the bite off the donut. It was Brian F.
Brian F. eating the donut.
Creepy Sleepy is a birdie player who likes to really get into the role of birdie, and we had discussed ahead of time to kind of like have a little bit of a show with our match. You know, he mentioned like maybe you can do something disrespectful, whatever. Like, you know, he's with it, he's in on it. But normally I would be too nervous. I would be too nervous to even like joke around. I had won the first game pretty handedly. And no disrespect to Creepy Sleepy, but I would expect, like, with our skill levels, like, I would expect to be the favorite going in, right? But even in those situations, I'm nervous. Every time I get into a pools match, I gotta get into the groove. I am playing worse than usual. On that day, I was able to, like, keep it cool, be able to actually be conscious enough to be able to like make jokes. Normally I would be so nervous I would have to just like stare at the screen and ignore him, but I was able to loosen up,
some water now?
which is kind of difficult for me during tournament matches.
The chain came out.
I think he's gonna lose even harder now. Hopefully Creepy Sleepy gets it together.
Spoiler, he does go to lose harder now. That's also where this image comes from.
But cleaned up Brian F, not letting the chain get to him. Not feeling weighed down by the donut. Looking nice and solid.
He's like, yeah, that's a pretty good donut, bro. Damn. Oh my God. Yo, he is getting acquainted with this corner. Can we build a snowman, please?
I think this might happen. He's building something. Oh my, cleaning it up. He's got one bar.
Build a snowman. Yep.
Yes. That's gonna do it. Brian F.
So this match, you know, I was relaxed. I knew that was something special because I wasn't feeling my nerves that day. I might owe Creepy Sleepy for the rest of this day, because I think this set me up to be in a much better mindset. After this match, something else happened. I had to play another opponent. You might have heard of him. I got to play against Daigo off stream in the next match. There's no recorded footage of it. This is the only footage I have. But I knew during that match that I felt nothing. I felt nothing, and it was great. When I'm in a tournament and for some reason I have no feelings, I'm just a machine. I can tell because it happens once in a blue moon. And on those times, it all aligns. And then this is the only other piece of evidence I have that I actually played Daigo and beat him in tournament. Lost to Brian F in the Fudo. You get matched against tough players really quick in this tournament. Looks like the CPT will be harsh this year. And then I had to let Daigo know it's all love. Yes, it's true. I do have a 100% win record against Daigo that technically makes me better than Daigo. I think that's how it works. I played him one time, won one time. I'm probably at his level or above, right? But I just remember not feeling anything. And that was the most beautiful thing about it, was I had no emotions up until this moment. Winners finals of the pool versus Verloren.
Oh, that was so meaty.
Oh no, yeah, he went for the meaty throw. I think we saw that set up earlier.
Okay, going for the crush counter. No bite.
Zen light kick.
50-50. Hit him with the basics. Oh.
Too far, yeah. He's not going to get any like mix up there, especially you have to be in the corner for that still to work. Season 2, yeah, you're fine, but
Okay,
trade on the V skill.
Definitely worked out. You son of a...
All right, takes the 2 beat. He wanted the throw bait there. Doesn't go for the kunai setup, and no punish on the jump back. Air to air. Goes for the delay. Brian F. Did you get the big pop off? Whoa! Out of.
That is my who do you think you are, I am moment. As you can tell, this is not the emotional reaction of someone who is nervous. I was on fire. I was dead set on destroying anybody in my path this event. I was so confident in my play and my actions. There was no hesitation, no nerves. It was just fiery vengefulness in my heart, right? And that does not happen very often. And I was tapping into that today. If you're talking about Bruce, yes. What he said to me is he walks up to me and he goes, "Pop off?" Question mark. Pats me on the back. And I was like, yeah, it was a bit too much. I was a little embarrassed after. But I wasn't nervous. Even though I was embarrassed after, it was an emotional release. And it was of energy. And I feel like nerves are what sucks your energy. Takes the blood away from your brain. Your heart is pounding all the blood. It's drained from your brain and you're unable to think. That day, I felt the fiery passion competing. Oh my God, I was a stone cold killer that day. And then it just kept going. I beat Daigo 2-1. I did not lose a single game for the rest of the day. I went on to then beat MOV 2-0. And then I went to play JB to qualify for top 8 winners. And then I also took out JB, who's beaten my ass in tournament plenty of times before. I don't know what happened, but there was no nerves. It was a beautiful moment of clarity in my competitive career, which I strive to recreate. And the only other time I can recall feeling this way was maybe once or twice. Once was at Combo Breaker 2017, where I also made top 8 winners, right? So the only 2 times where I felt this at a premiere, it all just lined up. Everything worked in my favor. And I was able to play without feeling inhibited by my own mind, my own body. It was a great day. It was a great day. That qualified me for top 8 winners. However, all days must come to an end. That is where things took a turn for the worse. The next day, I had to play against Johnny in top 8 winners. Johnny is a young Karen player, mentored by the one and only Momochi. This is the final round of the first game versus Johnny. The next day, top 8 winners of final round 2019.
Light punches.
Ready. Johnny gets the knockdown. He's got trigger already. Dang, what movement all of a sudden from Brian?
Yeah, he is playing so aggressive.
Okay,
But
look
it was
at the
off
damage.
ground. It was off the ground. He thought it was. I mean, it was out of the air. He thought it was going to be on the ground. So that's why he went for that upper, and it didn't hit.
Brian blocking it out.
Ooh,
he
got
tried to go
hit.
in too hard. There is a super here. It's not there yet, but next hit could be for the kill.
Oh my God! Oh my
Got him!
God!
Brian has the confirm. He's got game 1 as well.
You can already see in the gameplay, I am swinging. I am missing crush counter confirms. I am whiffing buttons left and right. I'm doing accidental dash punches. It is a scramble. It is little to no control of what I'm doing at this moment. And there's a reason for that.
Caught the forward movement of Johnny, all ready for it.
Brian F. trying to spoil the potential master student
winners finals.
Oh, man.
That's why I look so happy. That's what the smile's about.
Now come
Proud
here
of
and
you.
get bodied. Oh, look at this. Brian F. taking the headset off. I wonder if he wants to hear the crowd cheer. Oh, what's he doing? Is he going to yell at the camera again? Or is he going to just...
I'm not trying to yell at the camera again.
Yeah, I think this is cool. I mean, it's traditionally done by the person who wins the game, but if you're feeling a particularly big moment, then you certainly have the right to wait, even as the person who won for a while. And this is, like I said, this is the big first premier top 8 for Brian. He is 2 games away from winners finals, and I can't blame him at all for feeling the moment in the way that he seems to.
Absolutely.
I was definitely not trying to pop off at that point. My issue there was my lower back was in so much pain due to the physical symptoms of my nerves. I was actually about to cry out in pain from having lower back muscle spasms, causing me so much pain in that moment. I felt it, a wave of it. I feel nerves. My hands get cold. I can't think straight. My feet get cold. My heart rate goes up. I'm freezing, but I'm hot at the same time. I can't breathe straight. And my lower back will start to spasm. And I believe it's also due to me like not breathing properly. I'm tensing up so hard and not breathing that it causes muscle spasms in my body. I was so nervous that I had to stop right there. I went back to character select initially because I felt something was wrong. I had to stop there and get up and stretch. I could have collapsed right there. Water, my guy? Yes, I drink a lot of water. There's plenty of water that I'm drinking. Water doesn't solve the issue, which is nerves. Nerves are not just in your head. I feel these physical symptoms of nerves all the time when competing in tournaments. Some days it's better than others. Some tournaments it's better than others, but I feel it. That first day, I felt nothing. It was one of the best feelings to be free of emotion, just unshackled, uninhibited by your own mind, and just play the game. The next day, in top 8 winners, it all came crashing down. I won that game, and that made me so nervous. I couldn't handle it. To this day, I have those feelings. I take hand warmers with me to tournaments. I have them here. I don't know if I have one at my desk, but before NLBC, I open hand warmers. I try to bundle up, wear a jacket, wear big socks with a lot of layers. I try to move around, do some exercise. I make sure to structure my meals and eat enough before I play. I had to plan around all these factors because I had to come up with rituals and ways to combat these nerves. And it always gets me. Every single NLBC, every online weekly tournament, I am feeling it. I go on to get crushed in this match, by the way. And there are some extremely questionable moments of gameplay. I always think like, what if I could have gone to that match with the mentality I had on day 1, right? What if I could have conquered myself first and felt confident in my ability and at least lose on my own terms? I think as a competitor, these things never go away. You might learn to deal with it, and for some people, it might be better or worse than for others. And I know chat's dropping a lot of advice here and there, and thanks but no thanks to literally every piece of advice in the chat. But you got to find your own way. I know a lot of tournament players don't talk about it, but it's real. People suffer through it, and if you're suffering through something like that, even if it's not for something with as high stakes, you know, these are real feelings that people have, and I don't think people are alone in that. So it's okay to have these kind of feelings and to learn to deal with them. I think it's worth it in the end. Competing is very fulfilling for me. So even though it comes with a lot of strife and a lot of emotional overload, it's still worth it. I think people who do it with ranked, it's still worth it too. But the other thing is, try not to care as much about ranked, and just know that other people are probably feeling the same thing you are. So don't let that stop you from playing the game, because at the end of the day, if you can get through it, you know there's fun to be had. And that's what fighting games really are about at the end of the day. And that's it. I just thought I'd share, my story, my history with tournament nerves, and just put that out there. And hope you guys find your own solutions. It's all our own personal journey. Keep playing the games you love.